on that field today, ask yourself this question.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! We ready! We ready! We ready! We ready! And don't do that! And don't do that!
When I step on the field, I send one message. And this is what it feels like. This is what it feels like.
Football is getting hit. That's it.
It's gonna be football now! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's hunt now! Let's hunt now! Let's go! Let's hunt! We ready! And don't do that! And don't do that!
We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this, how like we the Miami Heat of football. Yap, 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 yap. The bottom line is you got to buckle up your chin straps.
It's embarrassing.
Yap, 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 yap.
Don't disrespect the game like that. There's too much crying from them.
He's a man. They can be hit just like us. He's a man.
You already make the big money.
He's a man.
Don't cry when you step on the field, man. That's war out there.
When I step on the field, I send one message. And this is what it feels like.
Oh, my bad, my bad. Your bad don't work in my world.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! We ready! And don't do that! And don't do that! It's a wrap. Game over.
All right, y'all. Now, game's not over. It's just getting started right here on the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Roku TV, courtesy of BS3 TV. It's Winning Wednesday. It is the recap of the divisional round of the playoffs, and we'll let you know what the current standings are for the Lunch Break Weekly Keeping Up with the Joneses Pick'em Challenge, the playoff edition. That's right. That's where these 6 people are competing for $500 cash, and one has already been eliminated, unfortunately. One has already been eliminated. So let's just keep it going. Let's see what we got going on. Let's see how it works, and we will go from there. All right, so let's talk about the division round of the playoffs and see what happened there. Of course, on Saturday, this past Saturday in the early game, the Kansas City Chiefs beat the Houston Texans 23-14. I gotta be honest, everybody, the majority of the people, a lot of the people, get my terminology right, I don't want to put people in that are not there, have been talking about the officiating and the penalties in favor of Kansas City and to the detriment of the Houston Texans. Let me look, let me go to the information. Penalties. Let me see. Yeah, there they are. There they are. Is that right? Hold on. That can't be right. I'm looking at first something else. Here we go. Penalties. Texans got called for 8 penalties for 82 yards. Kansas City got called for 4 penalties for 29 yards. I think the biggest ones that the folks were talking about were I guess an unnecessary roughness call when Patrick Mahomes ran the ball, slid. The 2 defenders looked like they collided with each other, helmet to helmet, but upon further review, there was a slight connect from one of the Houston defenders with the head of Patrick Mahomes. And again, everybody's like, oh man, Kansas City gets all the calls. It's everybody against the Texans, or the Texans against everybody. The other one was a roughing the passer call when Will Anderson Jr. got there just a hair step too late, and it looked like he hit Patrick Mahomes in the chest. But again, upon further review, part of the helmet for Will Anderson Jr. caught the face mask area of Patrick Mahomes. Any contact in the head and neck area, here's the head, here's the neck, Any contact in that area is typically, not always, we've seen cases where they didn't throw the flag, but in this cases, they did. Now, I was surprised at some of the people, not the number of people, but some of the people that went at length about how Kansas City gets all of the calls and nobody else gets any of the calls when they're playing Kansas City. I'm not going to get into that part. I'm not. If that's what people believe, I'm going to say leave me out of it because I just enjoy the game. I do. I enjoy the sport. I enjoy watching it. I enjoy covering it. I enjoy attending it, whatever. I enjoy it. So I'm not a conspiracy theorist that the NFL and the script favor the Kansas City Chiefs. That's just me. And then you can call me whatever you want to call me. I'm not telling you to get off of your beliefs. I'm just telling you those are not my beliefs. That's all I'm saying. You can believe what you want. I'm not trying to discount you. I'm not trying to shut you down. I'm not trying to argue with you. I'm not. What got me was those same folks who are literally paid to cover the sport didn't look at one key factor that, let's say you are absolutely right. Let's say we take away half of those penalties. So then it'd be 4 for Kansas City, 4 for Houston. Totally even now. Now the playing field is totally even. There was one stat that you still cannot convince me was not the key reason for the Texans losing that game. It was for me. Now for me, again, this is not our opinion. This is my opinion. The key reason that the Texans lost this game, when you look at the passing stats, not the passing yards, because CJ Stroud out threw Patrick Mahomes 245 to 177. He went 19 for 28, while Patrick Mahomes went 16 for 25. But here's where the problem came in. The Texans O-line gave up 8 freaking sacks. 8 sacks for 82 yards. I'm sorry, 8 sacks for 58 yards. 8 sacks for 50. You allowed your quarterback to get sacked 8 times. That don't have a god doggone thing to do with penalties. And I'm a DeMeco Ryan fan. I will fight some people, not everybody, over DeMeco Ryans. But I will tell you this. For him to not talk about at length, now it's not like he didn't say anything about it. He didn't talk about it at length. The fact that they could not protect their quarterback, not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, but 8 times for 58 yards. 58 yards. Y'all, that's almost 6 first downs right there. That's almost 6 additional times to have the football with a chance to score. And you gave them up 8 times for a total of almost 6 first downs. You can't win like that against anybody, let alone Kansas City. You can say what you want about Kansas City gets all the calls, the script, and the NFL, and the Vegas, and all that, but not when you're giving up 8 sacks. You just can't win. Take off all the penalties. I was willing to go half, 4 and 4. Let the Texans not be penalized one single time. And you still give up 8 sacks for 58 yards? Those are what's called drive killers, especially when they come on 3rd down, and many of them did. You cannot beat any good teams in the playoffs. Now, not talking about regular season. You can steal a win on the road and last-second field goal and stuff like that. You can steal a win like that in regular season. But in the playoffs, you got the best of the best. You got the teams that qualified for the playoffs. Telling you, man, again, we can focus all day long on those penalties, focus all day long, but that still will not change that the Texans will not take the next step in their maturation until they learn how to protect their franchise young quarterback. Again, I'm not throwing that at D'Amico's feet. I understand that the offensive line coach is not going to be coming back. It doesn't matter if you don't get the right offensive line coach in there and get an offensive coordinator who is going to run the schemes that will minimize the opportunity for CJ to get sacked versus just, oh, hell, we just call him what's in the playbook. And it's not a CJ Stroud thing. I hear people all the time, oh, he holds the ball too long and this, that, and the other. That might be a fraction of the time. But the majority of the time, he is running for his life from Hut. There were times when he literally couldn't even get back in his full 7-step drop, 5-step drop before he was either running or sacked. So just say you don't like CJ Stroud. Just say you don't like the Kansas City Chiefs. But you can't put this one solely on penalties. I'm sorry, you cannot. You cannot. Allmad in the house. Let me give him some love. Allmad said, KC won't beat the Bills. They should enjoy getting by the Texans. Allmad, all I'm going to tell you is until you beat Kansas City this time of year, I'm not talking about regular season because they beat them in the regular season. But as I've said plenty of times before, Kansas City is built for January. A lot of teams win a lot of games from September to December. But it's the teams that are built to win in January that have a better shot to play in February. People used to say that about the New England Patriots. People said that about the Rams in their heyday. People said that about the Cowboys, the Steelers in their heyday. Oh yeah, they're gonna lose when they get up against so-and-so. And all they've done is gone out and win a bunch of chips. So I hear you. I ain't mad at you. I'm not even discounting you. What I'm saying is until you beat Kansas City is the team to beat. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I don't know if Buffalo's going to get him this year. I don't know it. Hell, Buffalo barely got by the Ravens. Not for a drop pass on a 2-point conversion. We don't know what would have happened in that game. So I'm just saying, I ain't going with it. He's made a prognostication. He says MVP Allen. So you are declaring that Josh Allen is going to be the MVP for this year. Okay. He got as good a shot as anybody else. I think it should be Lamar hands down. My order is Lamar Jackson, Saquon Barkley, Josh Allen in that order. Joe Burrow, number 4. Lamar Jackson, Saquon Barkley, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow in that order. That's me. We'll see. It's going to be a good game. I ain't knocking that. It's going to be a good game. But again, Texan fans and Texan faithful, hear me when I say, I hear you on the penalties. I hear you on Kansas City getting the favorite calls and the favored calls and all that. All I'm saying is you have little argument when your team gives up 8 sacks for almost 6 first downs. 6. You only get so many plays a game. And you're giving up yards to a team that you ought to at least be able to block for 3, 4, 5 seconds. I'm just saying it. That's all I'm saying. Fix that, and then we'll talk. Fix that, and then I might jump in with you. But right now, I can't give it to you. All right, so anyway, Chiefs are moving on. Then, what a game that late game was, man. What a game that late game on Saturday night was. The Washington Commanders hurt a lot of folks' feelings outside of the Washington area when they took down the favorite and number 1 seed in the NFC, the Detroit Lions in Detroit, 45-31. And I'm sorry, again, say what you want to say about Detroit. I will tell you this. Washington put up 45 points on them. Somebody asked me, well, is that going to cause Aaron Glenn his job? Let me just say this. Did it cost Kyle Shanahan his job when he blew a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl against the New England Patriots right here in snowy Houston? No, hell no, it shouldn't cost him his job. If he's the man, then he should be the man. I hear the Jets have him very high on the list and maybe making a decision soon on him. I hate for him to go to the Jets. I'd much rather for him to be in Jacksonville or Dallas or Las Vegas with the Raiders. But hey, somebody got to coach him. So that's my 2 cents. I'd love to see him get as far away from the quarterback with the Jets as possible. So anyway, but again, 45-31, and we got to give love to Jaden Daniels. We got to give love to Jaden Daniels. 22 for 31, 299, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and he also ran for 51 yards on 16 carries. And the stat that is not covered is the wise decision-making that he displayed. There's no category for that. Not only did he do all the statistical stuff, but he did the cerebral stuff too. And I am excited about that young man. I'm worried about the Philadelphia Eagles. That's what I'm worried about. Because I think that young man just don't know. I ain't supposed to win. Well, Allman is on one today. Allman, what happened, bro? He said Commanders by 20. How can you be a Cowboy fan talking about Commanders by 20? Do you hate the Eagles more than you hate the Commanders? I'm just trying to find out what's going on. I'm just trying to find out what's going on, bro. Hit me up. Let me know what's going on. Anyway, so again, big win for the Commanders. What does Detroit do now with their quarterback situation? Do they keep goffing it? He was 23 for 40, 313, 1 touchdown, but 3 INTs, and they were costly. So I don't know. Jared Goff and Detroit got some decision making to do, and they lost their offensive coordinator. Ben Johnson going to be the new head coach with the I'm drawing a blank on where Ben Johnson is going. But anyway, he's going off to coach. As should Aaron Glenn. So anyway, let's see what Detroit does to retool and get back there. Dan Campbell was almost inconsolable following that loss. I think this one hurt more than that Cowboys game where he decided to go for it on 4th down and instances where he should have probably went for the points. So we'll see. All right, so then on Sunday morning, the Eagles got up and took care of their business. 28-22 over the Rams. Again, Saquon Barkley is the real freaking deal. Saquon Barkley, 26 carries, 205 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he didn't turn the ball over. Jalen Hurts did what he needed to do to make sure his team did not lose. Jalen Hurts, 15 for 20. Only missed on 5 passes, 128 yards. 6.4 yards per attempt, which ain't bad. That's significant. He ain't dinking and dunking. And no touchdowns, no interceptions. But he also ran for a touchdown and carried it for 70 yards. Had that 44-yard run for the score. So again, man, Philadelphia, I'm rooting for Philadelphia personally, not as a broadcast journalist, but as a fan. I'm rooting for the Philadelphia Eagles, but it's going to be a great game, man. It's going to be a great game, that NFC Championship game. Okay, I got you now, man. Their head coach was my defensive coordinator. Okay, I got you. Makes sense. All right, let's get to the other game on Sunday night. Again, man, this was crazy. Lamar Jackson did everything he could possibly do. He did everything he could possibly do except for hand the ball to Mark Andrews, but they came up short. Bills 27, Ravens 25. Lamar Jackson throws the game, what should have been, threw a touchdown to give his team a chance to go into overtime late, and then laid the ball in the hands of Mark Andrews. He dropped it, and the Bills win. There were some costly turnovers in the game by Lamar. He didn't try to throw Mark Andrews under the bus for his fumble. He was talking about himself, number one. not holding on to the ball, and the team collectively about not holding the ball. Just like I said about the sacks, you can't turn the ball over that many times against a team like Buffalo. So again, where do the Baltimore Ravens go from here? And anybody that tells me that it was a bad pass, it was behind him, it was late, if you look at that replay, and I mean look at it objectively, not emotionally, not so you can say, see, I told you, Lamar Jackson sucks. If you just look at it objectively, you'll see that not only did Lamar Jackson show him the ball, he literally showed him the ball before he released it. Released it right in his stomach area, right in between the well above the belt, but below the numbers, right there. Well, it was behind him. If he had thrown it in front of him, he would have forced him to catch it out of bounds. He threw it exactly where it needed to be and hit him in the hands. And for whatever reason, Andrews' hands could not lock around that ball, bring it in, and just fall back. That's all you had to do. Lock your hands around the ball, pull it in, and fall back. Didn't do it. Dropped it. Now, I'm a Mark Andrews fan. I don't want him cut. I don't want him dogged. I don't want anything, but I will not stand by and let you talk to me about how Lamar Jackson threw a bad pass. I'm not even going to bother with you on that. You had that conversation all by yourself. So here we go. the conference championship games this coming Sunday at 2 p.m. Central. It'll be the Philadelphia Eagles hosting the Washington Commanders. Philadelphia is a 6-point favorite in that game. I don't believe it. Baby, if you're a betting person, take the points and let it roll. Take the points and let it roll. The over is 47.5. That's a little high. I'd take the under. I'd take the under and the points if you're a betting person. That's just me. All right, so then the late game, 5:30 Central on CBS, you got the Chiefs hosting the Buffalo Bills. Kansas City is a 2-point favorite in that game. 47.5 are the points. Let me look at something real quick. Kansas City this season. 27 in their opener against Baltimore, 26 against the Bengals, 22 against the Falcons, 17 against the Chargers, 26 against the Saints, 28 against San Francisco, 27 against the Raiders, 30, 16. They only scored 21 against Buffalo, scored 30 against the Panthers, 19 against the Raiders, 19 against the Chargers, 21 against the Browns, 27 against the Texans, 29 against the Steelers, lost 38-0 against the Broncos, and then in the playoffs, they put up 23. I might go under. I might go under that 47.5. Just me. All right, without further ado, let me show you this week's results for the Lunch Break Weekly, Keeping Up with the Joneses Pick'em Challenge. As I mentioned before, one person has already been eliminated. So let me show you what we got. Okay, here we go. Oh, I don't have it open. Hold on. Window. There it is. Bang. All right. So here's what we got so far. This week in the divisional round, you had Marshawn, who won it. That's why there's an asterisk by his number 3. He actually won by virtue of the tiebreaker with 3 wins. BGM, Black Girl Magic, is still in first place in the standings. She had 3 wins. My T had 3 wins. Brian C., Big Mike, Keisha Kelly all had 2 wins. Keisha Kelly has been mathematically eliminated. You've only got 3 games left. You got the 2 conference championships and the Super Bowl. And we don't give bonus points for the Super Bowl. We may look at that for next season. Bonus points for the Super Bowl round. Anyway, she's down by 4 with only 3 games left to play. She cannot win. Big Mike is still mathematically in at 6. He's got to run the table and got to hope that BGM loses everything. She got to lose all of them. Brian C. definitely still in it. My T and Marshawn only out by a game. They got to hope BGM drops the ball somewhere. But right now, it is BGM with 9 wins, Marshawn with 8, My T with 8, Brian C. 7, Big Mike 6, and Keisha Kelly has been eliminated. All right, there we go. It's what we got. It's what we have. It is what we have. All right, so let me get ready to get out of here. Before I do, I've got to give love to the Ohio State University Buckeyes football team for winning the national championship. Winning the national championship 34-23 over a very game Notre Dame Fighting Irish. But man, I got to tell you, I'm going to raise my hand. I was one of the people calling for Ryan Day to get fired following the loss to Michigan. I'm glad I was wrong, and I admit it. Unlike many people who sit in these broadcast chairs, I admit I was wrong. Congratulations, Coach Ryan Day. What, 3rd highest winning percentage in the history of college football? Man, and they had a plan. They had a plan from the end of last year to this year. They literally talked guys out of jumping to the NFL to come back and do this very thing. Now, I will tell you, though, please don't get it twisted. Losing to Michigan for the 4th time in a row and being down in that series history-wise, he ain't going to be able to do that too many times. He's not going to be able to do that too many more times. The Ohio State faithful will rise up. The right people will say something and changes will be made. But as of right now, we good. We good. The Ohio State is this year's national champion. And let's look at the final rankings. Look at the final rankings for the AP. They got the Ohio State number 1, Notre Dame number 2, as it should be. Oregon number 3, I agree with that. Texas number 4, I agree with that. Penn State number 5, Georgia number 6, and Arizona State number 7. Boise State number 8, Tennessee number 9, Indiana is 10th. Indiana is 10th. So they had them the lowest ranked of the teams that competed in the tournament. SMU at number 12, BYU 13, Clemson 14, Iowa State 15, Illinois 16, Alabama way down there at 17. Miami of Florida 18, South Carolina 19, the Qs all the way up to 20. 21 is Army, 22 is Missouri, 23 UNLV, finished 11-3, 24 Memphis, 11-2, and at 25, Coach Deion Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes, 9-4. So there you go. All right, all those competing for the Lunch Break Weekly, Keeping Up with the Joneses Pick'em Challenge playoff round. Got to have your picks by Sunday. 1:30 Central. Sunday, 1:30 Central. Give you 30 minutes before kickoff of the Commanders and Eagles. You know what to do. Text them 832-403-5005. That's 832-403-5005. Keisha Kelly, you can still send in your picks if you like. You are mathematically eliminated from winning the $500. And we don't do other prizes down the way. Also, everybody else, hey, don't get discouraged. Don't lose interest. We'll be coming up with the Lunch Break Weekly Keeping Up with the Joneses bracket challenge for March Madness. So start looking at your team, start paying attention, and get ready for the bracket link to go out. As soon as it's available, I'll send it out to you so you can get your win on. Somebody can win $500 cash in that. All right? All right. So as always, let's not be divided. Let's be united. I truly do love you. There's nothing you can do about it except tune in tomorrow for Chris Gardner, Houston Round Ball Review, as he gets ready to tell us what's going on in the NBA and college basketball ranks. And then on Friday, it's the coach, Johnny Cole, with the HBCU Stroll. He'll be back on Friday, Monday, and Tuesday. And Lord say the same. I'll be back on Wednesday with Winning Wednesday. So again, y'all be blessed. Y'all be safe. We'll talk to you then.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.